I'm a fan of Warwick Davis. I am a fan of anyone connected to Ricky Gervais. But this, no one asked for this. No one was sitting around in recent years thinking, you know what we don't have, but I wish we did, is a Willow series on Disney Plus. Was that what you were thinking? The Rotten Tomatoes scores are now available, which offer the Disney Plus series doesn't do the original movie justice. Kel Surprise, are you all shocked? I know I am. It's another day, and it's another day where fans aren't happy with the Disney Plus series. This time, it's Lucasfilm's Willow series. The first 2 episodes now streaming, but according to early fan reactions, it's not all that good. Change the record. For God's sake. What are we looking at here? 58% audience score? That's actually not that bad. We've seen lower. 83% on the tomato meter. That's surprising because there is a lesbian in this. Phil Latin says, I remember Willow, but replacing him with a lesbian feminist story is a big L. Well, yeah, I guess that depends on not if you're a intersectionalist feminist. Mobig says, doing Willow without the burgle cut is disrespectful. He's an icon to all trolls. Did they bring back, what's his face? Val? Is he in it as well? All right. So the original has an audience score of 79%. You can't compare OG Rotten Tomatoes to today's Rotten Tomatoes. These are not two comparable things. Rotten Tomatoes is completely compromised now. They actually used to be really tough. And I don't think you can compare. The big surprise of Disney's Willow show is that queer romance is front and center, a decision Jonathan Kasdan said was just organic to creating the sequel. I know when I'm creating my sort of dark fantasy aimed at kids TV show adaptations, it's almost impossible to keep the queer romance out of it. How do you not? You have a character, she's a female. That's what I would do. Will the SJWs take out the peck derogatory term? What does that mean? What's peck? Is it a pecker? I looks like I need to watch Willow again. It's been a good 30 years. How is it organic? Why is it organic? Every single show now is centered on queer romance. And when did it become okay to say queer? Remember when that was a slur? You would lose your job for calling someone queer. That guy's queer. You're out. Now it's celebrated. Willow was a peck. Oh, there you go. Guys, I've seen it 30 years ago. Forgive me. Give me a little leeway. I don't remember every single name of every single race. The humans called the midgets peck. It's a queer old time. You know what they say? I mean, when I'm looking to write my fantasy kids shows, I'm just thinking,
it's so hard to have a gay time on your own.
$10 from Rhino. Thank you, Rhino. Hello, Rhino. I like your avatar there. Did I make that avatar? Where is it? Why can't I pull it up? Let me have a look. Let me zoom in. I did. I just watched the 2 episodes. I wanted to like it, but that Kasdan jerk should not be allowed to write anything. You are safely in the 50. What is it? Don't do math on stream. 42% who didn't like it. Thank you for the super chat nonetheless. What does it say? Recently, Disney's LGBTQ Strange World animated movie bombed at the box office, which also wasn't marketed as featuring LGBTQ representation. It wasn't marketed at all. That's why no one even knew it existed. What do fans have to say? All right, this is going to be interesting. Let's hear from some people who've actually watched this thing. It's Disney doing all this stuff. Let's watch them fail. When the chickens come home to roost and the amount of money that they look back on, that they lost Yeah. Already, I mean, the fact that they fired, what is his name, Chapek, and yeah, they brought in Iger, but he might just be a fill-in because they needed to get rid of Chapek like right now, and they're like, well, that guy's not doing anything. He knows the job, he knows the people. Let's just bring him back in the interim. They need their own Zaslav to come in here and clean house. Fear Lantern likes LGBTQ. I can't lay claim to that. That was Joe Fulton, my editor. He that's who I heard it from. I don't know where he got it from. Yeah, Iger started all this BS. You're right. Yeah, Iger is not some hero, but the fact that they fired whatever his name was, that tells you that they're spooked by this. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing how it goes forward. But you know, these movies take years and years to make, especially the animated ones. They probably had that animated one, Strange World, in development for 3 or 4 years. So there's going to be many, many, many years of this to come. So strap in, get your popcorn, and let's watch them just fail one after the other. They're not. This isn't a speedboat. This is the Titanic, and it's like grinding into the side of a iceberg right now, and they can't turn it. What do they say here? Okay, so this is some of the feedback on Rotten Tomatoes. This is like a modern sitcom, not medieval fantasy. It does not feel like Willow. That's another thing we've heard. That's the whole Joss Whedon effect, turning everything into a sitcom, turning everything into silly billies. What a disaster that's been for cinema, TV, and art, and comics, and everything. Judd Goswick is counting here's the body count: Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, James Bond, Marvel, DC, add Indiana Jones to that, The Witcher. I mean, I don't know if that's not Disney. Are these all DC stuff? Are these all Disney stuff? I don't know. Who does Doctor Who? Who does Star Trek? Anyway, the franchises are going down. Franchise killers, the lot of them. IDW, In the Toilet, Terminator. The list goes on and on, on and on, and on and on and on. Lost its charm, says this person. Not sure about the teen drama sitcom screenplay angle. Why are they doing this? Who are your audience? They're the least self-aware people in the world. They don't know who they're making their shows and movies for. Well, he just says right there, who's the target audience? Modernized dialogue is always a terrible idea for fantasy shows. See if I can last the season. Why would you? Why would you try? Why would you try? Only one episode in. So far, it feels like a cheesy medieval times series. Then throw in a rainbow unicorn princess and a bunch of other very cliche, poorly written characters with dialogue. Maybe it'll get better. It won't. It'll get worse. However, if this is what you put out as the premiere episode, the chances aren't great. I don't know what. It's like they forgot how to make TV shows in the last 3 years. They did the same thing with 1899. They're like, here's the plan. We're going to hit them with 3 incredibly slow first episodes. That'll sink the claws in. It's like in that time, they've just completely forgotten how to tell interesting stories, how to capture people. Oh, we've got like a medieval fantasy with different races and strange things. Yeah, let's turn that into a teenage sitcom. Sounds like a plan. Completely unwatchable, says this person. Lasts about 15 minutes. That was how much I lasted on Love and Thunder. A husband was a bigger fan of the original as a kid. Well, even worse. Insisted we keep trying. Why would you do that? Why? Don't you know? If you don't know by now, you're never going to know. You're never going to realize. Wake up. 20 minutes was enough even for him. The show is another great example of not a single character being a fun and good person you want to hang out with. The 2 main girls are I think that means sufferable. Not Galadriel level, but darn close. Well, I mean, Galadriel is the gold standard of insufferable characters. The scene where she is at a call to meet her appropriately Weasley new husband, has a tantrum, is one of the worst scenes I've sat through in a long time. some shockingly bad moments in TV and film this year. This show is absolute drivel. What a pathetic waste of an IP. Ready, get set, terrible. Oh, imagine you made this. Imagine you were the screenwriter and you were reading this. Even the critics who are loath to say anything bad about a show that has the representation in it are not on board. Oh, well, I think that's about it for them. I think that is it on Willow. I will not be watching Willow. I will not be letting my kids watch Willow. I will not be letting my not teenage. She seems like a teenager. She's only 10, but she acts like a teenager. She's a tween. I will not be letting her watch Willow. Do you get that, Disney Plus? Do you understand the issue with that? I don't think they do. They won't be watching Indiana Jones either. Although that's just because it sounds terrible.